Good evening and welcome to the Radical SR8 Championship. Round 4 takes us to Summit Point Raceway in the USA. I am Tom Kenson, the commentary position, with James Parfitt alongside me to take us for a ride around this brilliant circuit in the forest of Summit Point. We're almost into the final 5 minutes of qualifying, and John Hudson with the fastest time at the moment, ahead of Mike Buson. 2 drivers of which they came out on top last week in Brands Hatch. They'll hope to continue that fine form here this evening. The other driver that did win as well, Luke Maxwell, is not around this evening, so he'll be back for the next round, which will be at the Rebel Ring, which will be a different format compared to the 3 races we've got lined up for you tonight. The first 2 being 15 minutes long, and the final race being 20 minutes to round out the evening's action. And just to confirm of who is in the pros and in the AMs, John Hodgson, Jack Veazey, Mike Buson, Luke Maxwell, Matthew Richardson, Paul May, James Coombs, Luke Chinnison and Paul Crabber in the pros. And in the AMs, there are Mena de Graaf, Gert-Jan Polman, Steve Webb, Stefan Millis, Scott Kostritz, Tom Weston, Graham Matthews, Gareth Newton and Andy Pratt. Not all of them are around this evening. 13 of them, to be exact, are around here at Summit Point. Let's introduce James into the booth and get a word from him and hear about what he thinks we expect to see here at this brilliant racetrack. James, good evening.
Good evening. I hope you're all well, everybody. I hope you're well. Black Enzo's in the YouTube chat. Hello. Good evening, he says. Good evening. This is going to be an interesting one. Very fast, very short. Not a lot to it. A few turns that they've got to cope with, but all in all, a great little circuit. So they can literally be full speed right away from the S's all the way round through Paddock Bend at the end of the race circuit. So they'll be able to really give it some beans coming all the way around. If we stay on board with Mike Buson here, we're going to go in through the carousel, the left-hander. And this is going to be an interesting one because it's almost a change to third when you come out of the hairpin, but you just don't quite make it enough. You've got to keep it in second. So now this is where he can open up the power and start hurtling down this amazing circuit. Coming down into Paddock Bend. Now, I do expect him just to lift a little bit. Yep, gets the car hooked up. Lifts it off, and then runs wide. But that's one of the dangers of that corner. But it is an absolutely short, sweet, and amazing circuit. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they get on and what happens over the next few minutes of qualifying.
Well, here we are, Jack Veazey with the fastest time since we spoke about John Hudson. Veazey with a 1:03, which is around about the lap times we expect around this circuit. So there's going to be a lot of laps for each of the races, so plenty of opportunities for the drivers to make the move. We've got 8 in the pros competing tonight and 5 in the AMs. Now, the reigning champions of the pros and the AMs are John Hudson and Menno de Graaf. They are ones to look out for this evening. There we see John Hudson going through carousel, hoping to build on victories he picked up in the last couple of rounds at Willow Springs and Brands Hatch. We've still yet to have the Spa round to be shown, but that will happen at some point, hopefully this week. But Hudson will be on with the job nevertheless, and he's aiming to get back to pole position with over a couple of minutes remaining. Has he been able to do it this time around? He does, and he goes to the top. Is that the exact same time as what Jack Veazey has done? It's not, but it's very, very close.
Yeah, very, very close. 1:03.94 there. Veazey back at the start. They're back at the line again, back into pole position, I'd say. Get my teeth working. 1:03.941, 1:03.990. So Veazey and McHutchison trading that pole position at the moment. Graham Matthews got a time on the board. We've got no time for Steve Webb or Stefan Millis at the moment. Not quite sure if they're taking part or if they're not, but they are in the session. Luke Chinnison is there as well. He's out on the racetrack currently doing his thing as we're into the final throes of qualifying. About a minute and a half left. Should be an interesting one.
Now that you've mentioned Stefan Millis, we've now got 14 drivers involved this evening, which is good to see. Now, after the first race, the top 5 finishes are reversed for race number 2. And then at the end of race 2, the top 10 finishes will determine the reverse grid for the third and final event. Now, there are more points up for grabs in the third race compared to races 1 and 2. 20 points for the win in races 1 and 2, 25 for the win in race 3. It's a 5-point difference between winning a race and finishing second, and then it's a point difference for every position downwards from there.
Yep. We should have a look at the scores a little bit earlier on. So it's going to be interesting to see how this season goes and whether or not the champions are going to be knocked off. But at the moment, both champions are at the top of the table. John McHutchison, 55, Mene de Graaf on 33, sorry. So we'll see how they get on. But I think overall, this could be a very interesting one here. They've got to make sure they can all make it into turn one. If they don't make it into turn one, well, then we are in trouble.
Well, we shall see. It's the first time that the Radical SR8 Championship competed around this circuit. Some drivers will have done some previous races around here in different machines, but not quite in the SR8s. So this is going to be a different challenge compared to what they've done in the past. Mike Bousselin is on a flyer of a lap time. The man currently in P3 is coming round over the line now. And is this an improvement on his position? It is. And he's up into second place. And just like that, qualifying has reached its conclusion. Bousselin was able to get that time just before the session had ended. VZ is on pole position, though, getting the first point of the evening ahead of Mike Bousselin, with John Hutchison third and Luke Chinison alongside him on the second row. Mene de Graaf, the highest of the AMs in fifth, ahead of Paul Crabb, with Matthew Richardson and James Coombs on row number 4. Taras Vosberg and Scott Kostrich running out the top 10, followed by Graham Matthews and Gareth Newton. And at the back, we've got Steve Webb and Stefan Mellis.
Yes, we have. Right, let's get this ready to go, because I think this could be a very thick and fast start to this race, and as long as everybody can get through turn number 1, we should be all good. Hopefully.
Well, let's see. Well, VZ will be anticipating how to go through turn 1, because if you are on the outside line, you can get a good run out of that and have the advantage for the Wagon Bend, which is the next braking zone on the circuit, which they'll be heading to after turn number 1. So do keep an eye out for that. And Matthew Richardson aiming to build on his podium in the last race at Brands Hatch. Can he get a better start to this one? Because race starts have been his Achilles heel so far this season. And he's starting in P7 for the first race this evening. Mike Bousselin has made his way onto the grid. We're just waiting for John Hutchison to make his move any time now.
Fashionably late is the Scotsman, as always.
Well, that tells you everything, doesn't it?
Him and Bousselin together, they always get on last.
Well, he's got a maximum of 20 seconds remaining, and he doesn't need that because he's now on the grid, is John Hutchison. And we can go racing. The lights are about to appear. We've got 1 light on, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lights are on. Green flag. Lights off. It's go. It looked a little bit slow from the drivers getting off the grid there, but Bousselin has got away better than VZ has done. Hutchison to the outside, though, of the pair. And can he get the high ground on the exit? No, he has to lift off the throttle by the time he got to the braking zone. It's Bousselin who snatches the lead ahead of VZ, Hutchison, Chinison, and de Graaf has jumped the start, JP. Yeah,
he's jumped the start down into 5th place. Unfortunately, he's going to have to go in pit lane. So that, I believe he's got to stop and go, but all I would say is turn everything off. It does give you a less stop and go. VZ did not really get off the line. Bousselin did. McHutchison did as well. Tunison had a good start, but this is where it's all going to be picking up now. The action's going to be thick and fast happening. You can see Taras Vosberg, Graham Matthews and Scotty Kostrick are running side by side in through the carousel at the moment. You can see Kostrick on the outside's got to yield. Has been contact up in front. I believe that's Paul Crabb and also Matthew Richardson. So we'll have a look back at that. There's more argy-bargy going on a little bit further back here as these guys continue to get their elbows out. Crabb's trying to recover. Richardson's obviously something's happened because they have gone off track. We'll have a look back at that in a minute. But Mike Bousselin out in front with VZ in second.
Yep, and Hutchison is looking to keep up with these. Playing the long game as far as the championship is concerned. There are a couple of drop rounds involved in this series, which we'll come to a little bit later. But in the meantime, Bousselin, who won the last race at Brands Hatch last week, is
Crabb
out
got
in front.
loose.
Yeah, Crabb got out of shape, and Richardson didn't have anywhere to go at Carousel.
No, but then obviously Graham Matthews comes into it, and there's a little bit more there. And unfortunately for Paul Crabb, unfortunately went down the order. But yeah, he got a little bit out of shape. Richardson nowhere to go. VZ's now tucked in behind Bousselin here, in through the left-hander, in through that, then coming into the right-hander carousel. It's been thick and fast so far, Tom, and I expect it to carry on for the next 13 minutes.
We shall see. Bousselin is trying to build the gap over VZ, but it's not going to be that easy because the long straights are very very effective in terms of the slipstream, of which VZ will most certainly want, and Buson will want to just try and bridge out that gap as of when he can, really. But like I say, there's a lot of laps around here and a lot of straights, which they'll have to get through. Fast up of the race from Jack VZ compared to what Buson had produced. Minute de Graaf has still not gone into pit lane yet. He has to serve that within 3 laps, I think, James, as far as iRacing rules are concerned.
Yeah, he's got 3 laps to do it, so he should be all right, but he's got to make sure he can get in. Looking back off the back end of Buson's car, you can see the problem with this circuit is not the fact that they can't overtake, it's the fact it's very short. And when you're going around at the same time, 104.82, 104.91, it makes it very difficult to overtake. VZ has got to be tucked up Buson's rear end coming round paddock, the final corner, because if he isn't, this is where he's really going to struggle, and he's got to make sure he's tucked in right in behind that SR8, because otherwise he ain't going to get the run down the start finish line, because they won't have enough time.
Well, VZ's just lost ground to Buson there. He was right in his tail coming through carousel, but down towards the back straight prior to paddock bend, as Minute de Graaf makes his way into the pit lane to serve his penalty. And I think this race has turned now into a test session for Minute de Graaf, and that has cost him big points in the race in the AMs as well.
Yeah, it will do. He's going to drop all the way down the order. Everybody's going to go through. That's it. Going to be done for him. I like this going on down here. We've got Graham Matthews, Gareth Newton, Minute de Graaf, Stefan Mellis, all having a right little bit of a ding-dong currently. So they're having a nice little battle further back in that AM Championship. Taurus Rosberg has just unfortunately had some drama, and it looks like turn 1 may have caught him out here.
Well, it's a long straight.
Oh, it's very late, very late.
Yeah. And he was very late. He was too late on the brakes, and which explains why the rear wheels had locked, and off goes Mellis.
Oh, Stefan! Oh,
that would have been an unsafe rejoin there, but luckily de Graaf was able to avoid him. I have to say, Minute de Graaf was very quick through the pit lane, so he's not lost so much time. So he's already made it 1 position.
Yeah, this is VC's opportunity. He's 2.5 tenths back at the moment. He might be able to have a go down into 1 if he can just get that below that 1.5 mark. Buson knows he's not going to go for it. He takes back the racing line again. So there's a little bit of a battle situation, but what VC has to be careful is 1 and 3 in this. Buson and McCutcheon are in the same team. They know how to work together. So they've got to be a little bit careful, because for VZ, he's kind of he's the filling in a team red line sandwich. So for him, he's got to be mindful that he's either got to make the move on Buson, or he may have a move put on him from McCutcheon. He can't do it along too long.
Well, Hudson is playing the team game at the moment, trying to put VZ under pressure to make sure he doesn't get too close to Buson. I think the middle sector has been VZ's weakness so far, because before he got to the carousel, he's right on Buson's tail, but coming out of the carousel and onto this back straight, he's dropped further back. So VZ needs to work on that going forward if he is to get a run on Buson on the pit straight.
Yeah, Buson's quicker in sector 2. I think that's where Buson's opening it up. He's slower in 1, slower in 3, and VZ just can't keep sector 2 together for him to be able to be in position down into turn number 1. So he's going to have to try and really work on sector 2 to see if he can keep as close as he can with Buson. And that sector 2 starts just before the downhill drop here on the left hand as we're going down now, and finishes just before they come out the carousel, just before that final corner. So it's from about now where Buson's got you can see there, he's slower in 1, but for whatever reason, VZ just cannot hook up this little next complex of corners. He's done a lot better, lot better job this time around, but he's got to go, but it will end just coming out through the right-hander here. Buson's got the SR8 hooked up, you can see him, but instantly he opens a gap, so maybe VZ's losing it on that corner.
He's closer this time though, JP, as they come towards paddock bend, coming out of there now onto the pit straight. You can see VZ running wide a little bit, but this is the closest he's been. So if I was VZ, I would consider going for the move, and if I was Buson, I would consider going to the inside early to stop the draft and force VZ to go to the outside, and I have to say Buson placed that nicely there, keeps hold of the lead. Yeah,
he is. I almost thought VZ was going to come underneath him and have a go at him under the back end, but just couldn't quite get there enough to basically be able to cut back underneath Buson. this section up through Wagon is very interesting because it's not a hard braking zone, it's more of a dab and shoot, which is pretty much most of this circuit. The only real hard corner is this one they're coming into. Oh, Buson was he was late on the brakes. I think he's brought on McCutchinson into that. He was very late, very heavy as well, which basically means he slowed the car down to a virtual stop, and that brought McCutchinson straight in behind VZ.
Yeah, it's a battle going on further on between Scott Kostrich and Paul Grab, albeit in different classes. Mender de Graaf, meanwhile, has already got through on Gareth Newton, so he's up into 4th place in the AMS. There we look at Towers Vosberg on the tail of Paul Grab on the back straight prior to Paddock Bend. Oh, he's put a wheel on the grass there, did Vosberg, as did Paul Grab. But now they are lining up a move on Scott Kostrich, who's only just got in front of Paul Grab a moment ago. And we're now approaching the 8-minute mark in this race, so I would probably say we're looking at around about 15 laps or so, no more than 15. Through goes Crab on Kostic. Oh, that was a very, very that was a big snap of oversteer for Towers Vosberg, and he did very well. He was lucky that he didn't have a car directly behind him, but there we see Kostic coming back on Crab on the inside at Wagon Bend, and somehow he maintains the position ahead of the Irishman.
Yeah, he's not letting him through here. The Scotsman, the Irishman, are having a right little ding-dong. Crab's got it wrong. He's just got in deep. And that's allowed Steve Webb to go through as well. He's now got Mender de Graaf coming at him. But look at these three up here again. 4th one, and Tunison is just on the back. He's so close to tapping Buson back end in Sector 2 every lap. He is, you're right, Match, and that's the problem. Is that he can't get close enough. He's got to stay even closer to Buson, but Buson plays him. He plays him like he is a little bit of a card machine, because if you watch, he's trying to undercut him again. Buson's going to have the inside for Wagon, which is the left-hander. Very difficult corner to go too wide. Very difficult corner. So they aren't going to chance going too wide, but it's down here. Watch Buson's manoeuvre in the hairpin. He'll just park it on the apex.
Yeah, and I'd say Wagon Bend, VZ forced Buson to take a tighter line than Buson would have liked. So that should help VZ here. He may have to he's going to have to surprise him, VZ, because turn 1 is too obvious of an overtaking spot for him to send it. So he may have to be the carousel, or even the corner before that, to really, really send it.
Yeah, it's going to be basically at the hairpin that I think he's got to have a go, because he is right in behind it. Taurus Vosberg, I think, has just had some drama with Mender de Graaf. Oh no, Vosberg had drama on his own.
No, I think he has come together with him. They've collided, JP.
Yeah, this is where it started for Taurus. Unfortunately, he goes in.
They came too close.
Yeah, right in behind Scotty, but the problem isn't that. It's where he cuts across. I don't really know how to look at this, because it's either going to be Vosberg has come over on de Graaf. It's a bit of an hard one. I don't know if de Graaf missed his braking point or not on that one. But you can see all this playing around that Buson's done here, because he'll park it, and then he'll allow this man to get closer than ever. So he's got John McCutchinson right in behind him. So he's not getting away from the pack, but he's not allowing VZ to overtake him.
We're into the last 4.5 minutes of this first race here at Summit Point. And already we've got Towers Vosberg in the walls. He's gone no further in this race. Mender de Graaf is still going, albeit at the back of the pack. I think he's going to have to just try and overtake a few of the cars to improve on his grid position for race number 2. James Coombs sitting in 5th place, which would be enough for him to be on reverse grip pole for the second race of tonight. Look at VZ going to the outside of Buson again. Hutchinson and Tunison still there behind in case anything happens to both Buson and VZ. I think Buson should have the line of which he wants through Wagon Bend, and he does so. Getting out of there. Now VZ's got to get a run on him here. This is the closest he's been so far in this race. If he can maybe send it to the outside, he needs a good drive coming out of here.
I don't know if you've ever driven this circuit. You can't get around the outside of that corner. You've got to rely on the guy absolutely getting the inside wrong. Buson's playing him in at the moment. He knows where VZ needs to be. He knows VZ wants the inside for the hairpin. Buson doesn't give it to him. He knows VZ wants the inside for the next through the carousel. Buson doesn't give it to him. He'll come straight out of this corner, straight over to the right-hand side. You see, goes on the gravel, parks straight over. Buson, you were late. Now he's got VZ's opportunity. That mistake's just cost Buson.
Yeah, that error on the exit of the last corner really was what cost Buson. And now that's handed the lead over to Jack VZ on the inside into turn number 1. And that was coming all along, in my opinion. Oh, Buson nearly dropped it. Yeah, it was Buson that nearly dropped it out of turn number 1.
Yeah. Now Tunison's got an opportunity. He's grabbing second place on the podium. That's going to release VZ. Tunison's made the most of the Buson slip, which slowed down McCutcheon. Don't give him the inside. You've given him the inside. Oh, Luca, you got to be careful, son. You got to be careful. You've got to park it now because McCutcheon's going to come at him hammer on tongs.
Yeah, he survived that one, though. He survived that. I thought it was going to really allow the room for Hudson to send it on the inside, on the exit of chute, but thankfully he did not. And he's got his hands full with Buson. So what should have been a battle for the lead between Hudson and Buson, in my opinion, has ended up with these two fighting for the final podium spot.
Yeah, Tunison straight over to the right-hand side, straight defensive. That's it. Straight defensive. All done. He's got it now. He knows he's not close enough. Comes over on the line, looks for the 2 cones, starts braking, brings the car down through the right-hander. He doesn't care about drifting a little bit wide, because that next left-hander at Wagon's very difficult, and McCutcheon is not close enough. He will not dive up the inside of Wagon because he'll end up on the gravel top. It's got to be, from Tunison's point of view, park it now, go over to the left, hug that left lane as if you're going up the motorway in the slow lane, and then go over again. Yeah, get it closed. He's got to get that door shut a little bit early, as Tunison.
Yeah, he's too far back anyway, is Hudson. I wouldn't have thought, even with his... even with his experience, he was not going to send it from that far back. I think Hudson just has to play the long game here. I mean, 3rd place in this one will mean a 3rd place start for race number 2. And now he's having to switch his attention to Mike Buson behind, because he's closer to him than Hudson is to Tunison. 1 lap to go then for Jack VZ. The white flag will have been waved to him. But the battle for 2nd place is the focus point in these final 2 miles. Tunison to the inside, Hudson to the outside. If Hudson can keep his nose level,
he's got to cut him off
he'll
now.
have the... Yeah, and Tunison's giving him too much room. He's giving him too much room, as Luke Tunison. And Hudson's going to go through into 2nd place. That was coming, but Tunison was not robust enough.
No, he should have squeezed him a little bit. Don't open up the inside for Buson. Oh, he's on the grass. He's not stopping it. He's not stopping it. Oh, my Buson. He was on the grass. He just didn't stop it.
Yeah. And he's cut the corner now as well as Luke Tunison. He allows Fees to go back through. Yeah, he's got a penalty as well, Tunison. So that's his race effectively done.
Oh, absolutely.
But Jack VZ comes out of the last corner, and it's going to be race number 1 victory for him. The perfect start here at Summit Point for VZ. It was a winless round 3 at Brands Hatch, but he kickstarts tonight with victory. John Hudson 2nd. James Coombs has made it to 3rd place as a consequence of Tunison and Buson coming together. Tunison's penalty will promote Matthew Richardson to 4th place, and Mike Buson will be on reverse grid pole. Scott Kostrich, the winner in the AMS, with Paul Crubb in 8th position overall, and it's Steve Webb 2nd in the AMS, and Gareth Newton making it to the podium. Well done to him. Menedegaard 4th in the AMS, and Graham Matthews, and Stefan Mellis. Taras Vosberg was the only driver to not finish.
Yeah, we'll have a look back quickly at Mike's incident. He goes on the grass, runs wide, no, we won't, because it goes over to the next session.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, he goes on the grass and then just basically couldn't get the car stopped.
Well, it was a big hit, and at the end of that, it was Jack VZ who came out on top, with John Hudson in 2nd place, James Coombs 3rd, Matthew Richardson in 4th place, and Mike Buson in 5th position. Scott Kostrich, the winner of the AMS, 6th overall. Then we got Paul Crubb, Steve Webb, Gareth Newton, Minna de Graaf, Graham Matthews, Stefan Mellis, Luke Tunison, with Taras Vosberg, the only driver to not finish that race. Onto the grid, Mike Buson on reverse grid pole over Matthew Richardson. It's James Coombs and John Hudson on row 2, followed by Jack VZ and Scott Kostrich. Paul Crubb and Steve Webb on row 4. Then it's Gareth Newton, Minna de Graaf, Graham Matthews, Stefan Mellis, Luke Tunison, and Taras Vosberg.
Buson's got another bite of the cherry.
Well, Hudson has got himself onto the grid now, and we're good to go for race number 2. A very quick turnaround as it often is in this series. The lights are coming on for a second time. Lights are on. Lights off very, very quickly, and Buson gets away well. Not as good as Richardson, though, who for once got off the line brilliantly. And he's going to have his nose in front, but it's Buson who's going to have the inside line for the first right-hander of the course. Richardson to the outside is the Brit X3 into the lead, ahead of Buson. He is! Matthew Richardson takes the lead ahead of Buson, with Mahatson in third place behind. But that was the best start we saw, James, from Matthew Richardson for some time.
Yeah, and he weren't even on pole position. So he's managed to make it work there much. It was on Buson, he was on the grass. The reason Tudison got the penalty is because he skipped out half the track. And iRacing was like, no, can't do that. So he went off there, he comes straight across the corner and ended up all the way over there somewhere. So yeah, he skipped the track, that's why he got the penalty. Can't do it on iRacing, but they will throw him a penalty straight away, and that's why he got it. But great start from Matty Richardson, Buson in behind again, McCutcheon there once more.
Ray Matthews has jumped the start as well, so not the first driver to do that this evening. So he'll have to head for the pit lane within the next 3 laps. But out they come there, and Menedegorf is also in. Has he picked up damage on this first lap? I think he may well have done.
Oh, what's going on here?
Scott Kostrich has ended up in the walls as well, and there was contact between him and Taurus Vosberg, and both ended up in the barrier.
I'll tell you what, if there's one man who has no luck, it is Taurus Vosberg. That weren't even his mistake.
No.
He just got caught up in it. Oh, dude, it's rough for Taurus, unfortunately, on that one. Got a meatball there as well. Scotty Kostrich got a meatball, but you see Richardson out in front. Buson's there, Veazey's there, McCutcheon's there, Coombs is there, Crab, Tunison, all fighting it out at the same time. It's a nice little battle. Veazey and McCutcheon side by side, in through the carousel and up through the S's, and it is Veazey coming out on top over McCutcheon.
Getting his elbows out and having none of it. Mahatson having to settle in 4th position. James Coombs down in 5th place ahead of Paul Crab, Luke Tunison, who's making up for lost time. That penalty dropped him down to 13th position on the grid for Tunison. He's made up 6th position so far, up into P7. Steve Webb is the highest in the AM so far.
Oh, Veazey's got the inside.
Yeah, he has, and Buson's left the door wide open. This is going to be the easiest overtake Veazey has had all evening, and this is him going through into 2nd place, and he's the one going after Matthew Richardson. There is Stefan Mellis going by what looks like Gareth Newton, 4th position. That is the battle for 2nd place in the AMs.
Yeah, these two are having a nice little side-by-side here. I want to see how they work out Wagon. You can see Newton backed away from him, allowed him to go through, but it's up here that's all kicking off. McCutcheon's got Coombs, Crab, Tunison in behind it. Webb's just about hanging on. There he is in the orange and purple behind him. Buson's there, Veazey's there. Richardson got an absolute flyer, and even a march in YouTube chat. Richardson, what a start, absolutely. He doesn't get them starts very often.
Well, we have to praise Richardson so far. He does have supporters tuning in to watch. He did mention about family members that tune in to watch him sometimes. And I hope they are watching this one, because he has turned up this evening, as Matthew. So great to see him out in front. But it's Jack Veazey now with the fastest up of the race and his pursuit of another victory for this season. There is Luke Tunison attempting to go by Paul Crab, who is the cork in the bottle here. But I don't think it'll be too long before Tunison will head on through. But he has to be patient with this one. There will be enough opportunities as we see more gravel being kicked back onto the racetrack. And Tunison did not go wide, unlike Paul Crab. But he still wasn't able to take advantage, and this is costing Tunison time. Yeah, Scott Kostrich has gone back into the pit lane. Now, considering this circuit, James, if a driver may not end up in the barrier, but end up going through the banking around this circuit, which I have seen in the past, that might be what Scott Kostrich has managed to do.
Yeah, I think this is the problem. They can these two had a bit of a ding-dong back here. So you see Tunison runs wide a little bit there as well, manages to hold it. Scotty Kostrick runs wide as well. That's at the hairpin, and he just bounces it. Now, if he goes to the right, which he has done, that's where the penalty come from for Tunison as well. But we don't know how close he was to off-track count at the same time. So it's a little bit of hit and miss. But Matthew Richardson has got his work cut out because VC's coming at him.
Yeah, he's coming at a rate of knots as well. So VC is going to be into the slipstream of Richardson, who has to get his elbows out. He cannot give all the space to VC. He has to park it on the apex and make it as difficult as he can. And you can see placing the car in the right spot there, and he holds on for now. But this is going to be mightily tough, I think, for Richardson to hold on. But let's see if he can actually do it this time. And VZ there coming out of Wagon Bend. They're all kicking up gravel on the exit. That's actually how hard they are pushing around here. And VZ having a little sniff there, but Richardson is able to hold on. You don't want to do it through carousel. You can see how high that curb is on the inside. It's just too risky to do it there.
You kind of want to make it get the run down into one. That's where most of the overtakes I would have thought would have happened. Is the run down into one, but it's him managing to stay close to the guys behind. You know, can VZ hang on again? He's got Richardson in one, VZ in two. So he's got to be trying to get quicker in sector two. He's even slower in three on that one. But yeah, it's got to be. He's got to play Richardson the same way he did Buson, and maybe Richardson might make a mistake as well.
Richardson holds on to the lead. Further down the order, Steve Webb is the leader in the AMS, so good to see him fighting at the front of that. Gareth Newton is second, and Stefan Millis in third place. Menno de Graaf, who pitted in at the end of lap one, he's down in P11 overall and fourth in the AMS. Points wasted so far for Menno de Graaf. And he'll be kicking himself, come the end of the season if that costs him the title. Yeah,
that's the thing, isn't it? With racing in general, it's very hit and miss. 1 minute you can have a great race, but look at poor old Toros Vosberg. He's having a stinker. He's just getting caught up in incidents that sometimes aren't even his fault. And he must be very, very frustrated, this poor old Toros. But these two are very close together. It's about 3 tenths. It's not close enough to make the run into one. What about Tunison and Coombs? Are they close enough? 2 tenths, 1.9. If he's going to do it, it's a big old dive. It's a big old dive. Doors wide open, mind you.
Paul Crowber, the fastest up of the race as well. There is a lock-up from Coombs. Tunison on the inside, but it's Coombs who will have the inside for Wagon Bend, so I don't think... Oh, he's allowed him through, look. He's allowed him through because he realises that if he tried to defend it, he would have got on the curb, and it could have been disastrous.
Yeah, it would have cost him more time, so he's better off just basically sitting there going, well, we're done now. He's through. I'm going to go after to see if I can stay with him. So see what happens there. But VZ and Richardson continuing with their scrap at the moment, and you can see here that Richardson's managed to hold on, looking back at VZ.
And there we look at the onboard from Matthew Richardson's car, down the back straight before the last corner. He's missed the apex. He keeps missing the apex of that last turn, hence why VZ is able to get closer. He's not close enough this time around to make a move, but if Richardson keeps missing the apex of Paddock Bend, that's going to be all of what VZ needs to go in front.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, isn't it? You can't keep making the mistakes that he's making, and unfortunately, there seem to be regular mistakes. But he's got to try and hold on, because I can tell you one thing, VZ ain't going to let him get away with too many.
Nope. 2 drivers out of the race so far, Scott Kostrich and Toros Vosberg. And now we are on lap number 9. Now what is expected to be 14 laps. It was 14 laps in race number 1. It'll be 14 again in this one because it's a 15-minute affair. But these have been putting on a sensational battle since the start, with Richardson getting off the line well from second position and leaping into the lead. But it's not done until the checkered flag, and there's plenty of time still for VZ to come back at him.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing. It's the same for McCutcheon over Buson. It's the same for Coombs over Tunison. There's more time than we're giving him credit for. Steve Webb's just about hanging on, so we'll find out how these guys get on. But it's going to be very, very interesting indeed what happens here, especially as we've just had a fastest lap of the race. You can see VZ's climbing all over Richardson now.
Yeah, Hutchinson is the one that's just posted the fastest lap, so he's closing in on Mike Bousson in the battle for P3. Paul Crabb is further over a second off Hutchinson, and it's Luke Tunison who's got some ground to make up on Crabb. He's not left Coombs for dead either, because Coombs is also on his tail, so plenty of battles brewing as we speak. There we look at VZ, who's still not close enough to send it on Richardson yet. I don't know whether he's waiting until the last lap to really go for it. Or he's just thinking more about the championship at this stage, because even though he doesn't have the best of evenings, this still could count towards his title at the end of the season. If you remember last season, he missed out on the title by 3 points.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game though. Wait until the final lap. I've seen people wait and it go wrong. So it's a very dangerous game for VZ if that's what he's waiting for. I don't think he is. I just don't think he's close enough. I don't think he's quite got the pace of Richardson. And at this moment in time, and Richardson's managed to hang on. Junison and Coombs in the background. Webb's closing in on that one. McHutchison and Bouson's battle down in the arms. Gareth Newton still got Stefan Mellis closing out. Menno's running around on his own. Matthews is running around. Scotty Kostrick is in pit lane, but it's all here at the moment. And currently, it's as they were pretty much throughout the whole race.
Yep, VZ having a good run on Richardson this time. I don't think he's close enough to do it at shoot, but he'll have to, well, he's biding his time really, waiting for that pit straight again. You can see all over the back of him. He doesn't want to get too close to him, because if he gets too close to him, he may have to lift off, and the momentum just goes away, and he gets caught up in the toe in the air as a consequence. So he has to time when to really close in here. He's doing so now. So if he can nail the apex in the last corner, he's going to get a good run on Richardson here. But it feels to me like Richardson has nailed that, and so VZ's going to have to wait for another opportunity here, because there's no way, I don't think, he's going to go for it. He hasn't been going for it all this time, but he's going to the outside. If he can break later and be alongside, which he isn't, he'll have to hold back. So no change still between the top two.
Yeah, he tried to cut back on him as well. He went in a little bit deeper, tried to come underneath him, and unfortunately just didn't quite carry the speed out there, and that was the problem for VZ. But we'll see now with 2.5 minutes to go what he does here. If Richardson's slow, he could. If Richardson's not slow, if Richardson's smart, he could go slow round the apex and bring in Bousson and McHutchison. Might have made his life a little bit easier.
And that will give VZ more to worry about as the race is coming towards its conclusion. It has flown by, to be honest with you. Stefan Millis is sitting in 10th position, which would give him reverse grid pole for race number 3, which will be a very, very tasty encounter later on. I reckon we'll be in for a belter race 3, quite frankly. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, we got Mellis, Newton and Webb. That's going to be the front rows of race number 3. So, yeah, we're definitely going to be looking at something. VC again, getting close here for Jack. It just seems to be his position second, and he kind of grinds the guy down in first. Bousson must be sitting back going, I know how Richardson feels now, because I just had that throughout the whole of race 1 until I made that error. And VZ just went, thanks very much. But yeah, we're going to have to see whether or not Richardson's going to do the same thing as Bousson. He's looking comfortable, but he's got to keep it where it should be at the moment with 1 more lap to go.
Well, there's still time for VZ to go for it, but he's only got 1 more lap to really make his move on Matthew Richardson as they come round towards the last corner of Paddock Bend, and it'll be the last opportunity at turn 1 for VZ to go for it. He's actually further away than he has been in the previous lap, so I think Richardson may have just built up the buffer he needs for the last lap, James, unless VZ absolutely gives it.
Yeah, Richardson's got to hold that inside line for as long as possible. You see Bousson and McHutchison in behind. They've moved and moved. Tunison's got defensive with Coombs in the background. They're running side by side as well down into turn number 1, but Richardson's now just got to play this smart. He's got to come out of this apex. He's got to put it on the left-hand side. He needs the inside for the hairpin. Don't give him the inside. Stay down the left-hand side of the track, which is what he does do. Takes the normal line, goes on there as well, parks it on the inside. He should be good if he can get a good run through Carousel.
Yep. So if he could just get through this more tricky complex, let's just call it that, given the Carousel and they should be okay from here. Luke Chinison has held off James Cairns for now. They swapped a little bit during the course of this final lap, but it's Chinison who holds on to 6th place, and it's Matthew Richardson who's going to hold off Jack Veazey, Mike Bousson, and John Mahutchison. It's going to be a photo finish with the top 4. Matthew Richardson wins race number 2 at Summit Point ahead of Veazey, Bousson, and Mahutchison. Paul Crabb 5th. Luke Chinison holds off James Cairns to 6th place, and the winner in the AMS is Steve Webb. Brilliant job from him. Another class victory to add to his credit. Gareth Newton and Stefan Millis complete the AM podium. Millis will start race number 3 from reverse grid pole. Miller de Graaf and Gro Matthews will cross over the line very shortly, with Scott Kostridge and Terence Voss both not making it to the end.
Yeah, I think Taurus he's had a bit of a rough one, to be honest. Poor little rascal.
I know. I hope he comes back for race number 3, because he's had a difficult time of it. That barrel roll he had at Brands Hatch, well, that came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Matthew Richardson completes race number 2 as the winner, and it's Jack Veazey in 2nd place, Mike Boos on 3rd, Mahutchison in 4th place, Paul Crabb 5th, Luke Chinison in 6th position ahead of James Coombs, with Steve Webb the winner in the AMS, followed by Gareth Newton and Stefan Millis, who's on reverse grid pole. Miller de Graaf and Gray Matthews were the rest of those to finish. The ones that didn't were Scott Kostridge and Terence Fosberg.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a 5-minute warm-up, guys. I'm going to take a quick break, grab a drink here. So get some drinks, get some popcorn, and me and Tom will be right back shortly.
Welcome back. 2 races down, 1 to go at Summit Point. 20 minutes for this last race. More points given out to the field. And we've got the top 10 finishes from race number 2 being reversed. Who's on pole? That would be Stefan Millis with Gareth Newton alongside him. And it's Steve Webb who won out in the AMS in that second race, who will be 3rd on the grid. It's going to be a very, very tasty one in this last race. JP, what have you made of it so far, and what do you think will happen in race number 3? I will admit, I've got it on in the background at my end. And to be honest with you, this... I've got it on mute, so at least that's my excuse for it. So. Well, the saving grace. Imagine if they won the Champions League, because they're still in that as well. imagine getting relegated and win the Champions League in the same season. Yeah. Okay. Let's switch our attentions then to Radical SR8, shall we? The warm-up session is coming towards its conclusion. Miller de Graaf is the only driver to have set a lap time, although John Hudson has also posted a lap time, although those lap times are not very representative anyway. I think they just wanted to get a little bit more mileage on the circuit, which is fair play to them. Race number 3 should be transitioning into from the warm-up, and once it does so, then we'll have a grid. Which will show Stefan Mellis on reverse grid pole. Here we go, look, and it's Gareth Houston in second place, Steve Webb in third, ahead of James Coombs, who's the highest of the pros, Luke Tunison and Paul Crabb on row number 3, John Hudson and Mike Bousson on row 4, then it's Jack Vesey and Matthew Richardson rounding up the top 10. Miller de Graaf and Graham Matthews on row number 6, and then it's Scott Kosterich and Taras Vosberg at the back. I want to see him get his elbows out. I can't even remember the last time I've seen Mellis get his elbows out in a race like this one, where he's at the top end with a chance to actually just get involved.
He's got to try and defend from Gareth Newton, but it does look like Newton's starting in pit lane.
Yeah, so the lights are coming on now for one last time tonight, and it's go for the last race with Stefan Mellis having the front row to himself, and it's going to lead into turn 1 first, ahead of Luke Tunison, has leapt up into second place from 5th, but James Coombs is on the outside of him. Tunison is pretty much boxed in, and you can just see Steve Webb having to drop back there. He's got John Hudson to his right-hand side, but Hudson is through. But Mellis, much to my liking personally, has been able to maintain the lead and just it's off in a wild fashion. The Dutchman is out.
Oh, dude, he absolutely caught. Did he catch the grass? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Luke, straight into the wall. Wing off. Oh, he's done. Done and dusted. Tunison back to pit lane there as well. So we're going to find out how he can get it on. Richardson's in a bit of a battle. They're free wide with Crabb. That's not really going to work, I don't think. Bousson's in a battle with Menno.
This is almost deja vu from what we saw in the first race when Matthew Richardson and Paul Crabb were banging wheels against each other at that corner.
Yeah. That's the thing. Where it's so tight, this racetrack, it brings this kind of racing into the situation. And you can see poor Luke Tunison in there in the wall. Coombs in second, Mellis in third. Crabb still, Richardson in behind it. Bousson's still there. Lots of action still to come out of this one.
And I think Mark's just coming out about the football again. We'll go. Oh, that's good. Contact. Sorry, Bousson and one of the Orange Army cars came together with him. It's Steve Webb. Yes, you're absolutely right. As we've got more cars going off the circuit. Paul Crabb as well. And Taras Vosberg is having to take a face of action. It's all kicking off on the second lap.
Yeah, Taras managed to hold on to it there as well. Oh, Steve Webb. You can see there was...
He cuts across on him.
I can't really... hold on, let's go... I'm going to do it this way. I didn't like it, but this is kind of the only way we sometimes we're going to find out.
Oh, he doesn't notice that Bousson's there, does he?
Oh, yeah, he had this the other day, though, in Brands Hatch, didn't he? With Paul LeMay, it was all very, very ifs, buts and maybes. I don't know, it was very close on the same on that one as well. Mellis managed to hold on. Coombs, McHutchinson's been a touch and has got currently sitting in third place there as well. So we'll see how he goes. Apparently, though, March has got $50. So if Man United take the win, he finishes $50. Apparently.
Well, considering I am a United fan myself, I certainly hope so. But Mellis is holding on ahead of James Coombs in second place. John Hudson, who posted the fast lap of the race on that last tour, is on the tail of these two. And I think it's safe to say he's played it safe this evening, has John, and that's a really sensible thing to do from his point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's just got to try and sort of maximise what his championship is doing. He's leading by 1 at the moment. You know, Veezy's had a win, Veezy's had a second, McCutcheon's only had a second place here and a third or fourth, I think it was, in race number 2. So he's got to play it, he's got to get this extra points in free if he can. You see Mellis and Coombs running side by side down into 1.
Yep, Coombs is going to take over leadership from Stefan Mellis, and it has been coming all along, I think. And John Hudson is just waiting to head on by here. Wheel to wheel between Coombs and Mellis at the first turn. Through goes Coombs. Can Mellis hold off Hudson for now? He can. If he could just stay in that draft for the time being, Mellis, that will be increasingly difficult for Hudson to go on through. This is the best I've seen from Mellis so far. I was conscious of whether he was going to get his elbows out, and I'm so glad to see he's making them work for it. Off goes Vosberg in the back. No! Hudson and Mellis collide at shoot.
Oh, that is not going to do either of them any good.
Through into second place goes Matthew Richardson, and up to third is Menno de Graaf.
Right the way back.
I have to put it on Hudson, and to be honest with you, JP, I think Mellis left him enough space.
Don't think he did. Watch Mellis come over the white line. McCutcheon's well alongside. Mellis is just squeezing. Saying that though, McCutcheon don't hit the apex, so...
Well, I'd say I think Hudson had space to his right-hand side, to be honest with you. I think Mellis left him enough space, in my book.
Let us know, YouTube chat, guys, what you think of that one, because we're never going to get it right. Let's just put it that way. McCutcheon now does go through. Mellis goes through cleanly. Graham Matthews is up in 5th, second overall in class. Menno winning the currently at the moment as well, so great job from Menno. Paul Crabb just got a little bit squirrely there for some reason on that one. I think he's just hit the gravel. But yeah, still slight battles going on in the middle.
Yep, James Coombs has never won in the Radical SR8 Championship. Could tonight be the night that it changes? Matthew Richardson, who's already won this evening, he's going to make it 2 wins out of 3. He's now running in second place. Menno de Graaf running in third. Now, the last AM driver to take victory outright was Sam Katakousinos in Phillip Island a couple of seasons ago. And, well, I will say it's probably... Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, he's an Australian. Sam Katakousinos.
I know he is.
Yeah. I've known Sam for a while.
That's fair enough. But V's has now posted the fast lap of the race. And that is Graham Matthews going on by Scott Kostrich. This is battle for second in the arms. Oh, that was close. That was very close. I thought Matthews was going to basically go for a half spin and take out Taras Vosberg, which would have further compounded Vosberg's misery.
Yeah, but the thing with Vosberg though as well is he looks like he's got pace, but he does look like he's getting sometimes a little bit over aggressive. And maybe that's where his little downfall comes into it, unfortunately, there as well. Lems in YouTube chat, I think that's Luke, has put that went well. I mean, that was Mr. Luke Chivison in YouTube chat after his barnstorming exit from the hairpin.
And Paul Crabb has hit trouble, unfortunately, and I could just see the tyre smoke there. So that confirms to me he has been off the circuit on that back straight. Oh, he's gone into that banking.
He's not stopping it.
No, that was what I was alluding to earlier, James.
Oh, straight back to pit lane.
And straight into the forest he went.
Yeah, and the problem with that is it just takes you straight back to the pits as well, so he's got no choice now. He's had to go in the pit lane because it put him there.
Yeah. So that's effectively game over for Paul Crabb, and that's the second driver out of the race. John Hudson's making his way back into the 9th place so far. It's going to be a different challenge to how he anticipated it, but that's part of the game for John, and he knows that. He's gone by Scott Kostrich now into 8th. Taras Vosberg is the next driver he'll be chasing. Oh, that's banging of wheels. It was a little bit naughty, that, in my point of view, with Graham Matthews, because there was no need for that. And he just barged him out of the way and went on by.
Yeah, he definitely got his elbows up.
He did, but that was a little bit too robust in my book.
Yeah, I'm not commenting on that before I get myself in deep trouble, Tom. Let's move on.
Okay, fair enough. Well, either way, John Hudson is in the tow of Matthews. I wonder if Matthews will get his elbows out this time. We know how quick Hudson has been. And a little bit of a bang of wheels, but nothing too more than that. Hudson, well, that was not even a contest. Hudson's just went through even before they got to the apex.
Yeah, now it's a battle of the arms from 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. So we'll see how they get on there. Coombs has now got Richardson 4 tenths back at the moment. So Coombs got to be a little bit more careful now, because he's got Richardson coming at him, and he's coming at him quick. And Richardson's got pace for days at this circuit.
And Coombs has now got Richardson on his tail. The gap is 4 tenths between the two. We're not even halfway through this race, so Richardson's got plenty of time to consider when to go for it. And he's got that buffer now over Mena de Graaf as well, so it's not like he has to worry about cars behind Matthew Richardson. He just needs to focus on staying in touch with James Coombs between now and the end.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's got to make sure he can keep with him. It's relying on the fact that Coombs isn't going to go and make a mistake, because the problem is when you're racing this close, if one of you in front makes a mistake, you know, the other one's going to come at him and is not going to be able to move out of the way. There's nothing he's going to be able to do. But it does look like 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th, they're having a right little ding. Well, they are, in fact. They're running almost 3 wide up through Wagon.
That is Kostrich, Matthews and Webb side by side there. Webb was so close to Matthews, so he had to get out of it. And now he's left himself into the clutches of Newton and Mellis. So it's a brilliant 5-car battle for second place in the AMS. It's just a pity that Mena de Graaf isn't involved in that, because he's a long way up the road from these.
Yeah, if I was Mena, I'd be happy about being a long way up the road from these.
That's true, actually. If your name is if your name is Mena de Graaf, you wouldn't be complaining at all. But just from a neutral's perspective, if he was involved in this, we'd be treated to a thriller.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'd have a great fight. But yeah, for Menno, he's probably sat in the car thinking, niggas to that. I'm going to let them get on with it. Scotty Kostrick's opening up a little bit of a gap. He's starting to get away as Webb and Matthews continue to fight. Newton there and Mellis is also in behind as well. So Webb's looking up the inside. Is he going to get there? Of Graham Matthews. He is. How aggressive is Matthews going to be in that McLaren liveried SR8? Not very. And Webb just goes past.
Yeah, that wasn't even a contest, to be honest with you. Webb was able to sail on by past Gareth Matthews. John Hudson is continuing his recovery drive, going past Taras Vosberg into 6th position. He's got around about another 5 seconds to make up on his next challenger. That is Mike Bousson, and who is on the tail of Jack Veazey, who's going after Mena de Graaf. So that is due for battle at some point, and that is Newton just holding off Mellis there, who will be ruining that collision he had earlier with Hudson. This is the overtake from Hudson on Vosberg at turn number 1. Oh
yeah, Vosberg left the door open. The way that Vosberg drives, I thought that would have been a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more aggressive from Vosberg. I thought there might have been a little bit more of an aggressive defence, but there wasn't, to be honest, and I was quite surprised by that.
How many places has Gareth Matthews lost in the last few laps because he's just allowed Newton and Mellis to go on by? Is he suffering some form of issue? Surely that car can't be functioning as well as it should be.
Well, unless he's got damage for all the little slaps he's had when people have bypassed him. I don't really know, but maybe it's just sometimes those confidence on the racetrack is also might not be there either.
Well, there's no black and orange flag to his name on the timing tower, but just because there's no black and orange flag next to his name on the timing tower doesn't mean he isn't suffering any damage at all, because there could still be some form of damage to his car. It just isn't as distinct.
Yeah, just don't need fixing, basically. Let's just put it that way. Gareth Newton, Stefan Mellis, the leaders are coming slowly back together with Matthew Richardson and James Coombs. Radicals look like a bit of fun, says Reece Bartlett. Reece, you should come along and drive with him, son. Monday nights. See how you get on there as well. But different time zone, mate. I don't even know what the time is where you are now. What is the time where you are? What is the time in Australia? Is it Australia? You are Australian, Reece, aren't you? Unless I've just got it completely wrong.
well, there's different time zones within Australia, James, I will point that out. If he's Melbourne, then I think it's 11 hours. They'll be 11 hours ahead of us.
I don't know. I'll let him tell me in YouTube chat. Reese, if you're there, answer my question. Otherwise, I'm never going to know. So there we go. Coombs and Richardson having a battle for the lead. 30 minutes gone, 7 minutes to go. And these guys are putting on the action at the front with Richardson trying to close in.
And 7 minutes remaining. And Richardson's just biding his time, waiting for an opportunity to... Oh, and Reese Bartlett is saying he's a Kiwi in Florida.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
completely got it wrong. So we should just call him an Aussie and deeply offend him in the process. So there we go. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's going to love that.
We'll see soon enough. There is Coombs holding off Richardson on lap 13. We've got around about 7 laps remaining in this final race of tonight. Coombs doing a tremendous job holding Richardson up. He's had a really good evening, as we said. And Mena de Graaf, who had a shocking first 2 races.
Oh, Coombs just made a mistake.
Oh, that was the worst mistake I've seen Coombs all night. And Richardson nearly going through. I thought Coombs was going to end up on the grass in a similar way to what we saw with Mike Bousson and Luke Tunison. But thankfully, they kept the cars on the tarmac.
Yeah, very, very, very difficult. They would have hit the grass. We would have seen another Tunison drama. But you can see Richardson now is putting pressure all on Coombs at the moment. Let's jump on board with Maddie. Oh, Stefan Menace had some drama. We'll have a look back at that in a minute. As we'll do a lap on board with Maddie Richardson while he's chasing down James Coombs here, Tom.
Yeah, I just want to see how Coombs places the car, like for turn number 1. You won't want to put it completely on the inside because it gives you that tight line. He just cuts across in the middle. Oh, he's gone in too deep though. He locked up, and that's compromised his line on the exit. Is Richardson through into the lead, or has Coombs got the inside for the wagon band? He's got the inside for the wagon band. Oh, Richardson's still there, but the trouble he's got... Oh, he's through. Richardson's got past him. Unless Coombs got anything to respond to it, which he doesn't, Richardson is on course for 2 wins this evening at Summit Point.
Yeah, he got past him out of wagon. Richardson knew that by Coombs taking the inside line, he was going to be slower on the exit, and basically Richardson's just made the most of it. So there you go. He's basically gone through and now going to lead the race there as well. Put me in the same boat as Nick Green and Ian Knox. Yeah, that would offend most people. Reese, how dare you? How rude. Knoxy and Green ain't that bad. Oh,
you have to explain that to me.
Yeah, they're both Australians. Ian Knox and Nick Green. And they race in GNR on Friday nights.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Whilst the Australian and New Zealand banter continues, Matthew Richardson is doing his utmost of holding on ahead of James Coombs. This is going to put Richardson to the true test here, being put under pressure by James Coombs. Now, if this was Mike Bousson or John Hudson, this would be an even bigger challenge. No disrespect to James Coombs, but it would have been a bigger challenge. But as it is, can Richardson hold on?
Mate, James Coombs is like 4K. He ain't slouch. He's ahead. He's more than Richardson. And James does this every week. Like race 1 and 2, he'll plod along, and then race 3, he'll be quick. He got a 2nd place last week, let's not forget, at race number 3 in Brands Hatch. So he's like he takes time. He's like a wind-up. Maybe we should call him the wind-up dog or clock or something. Well, you wind him up in race 1, you wind him up a little bit race 2, and then you let him go in race 3, and he'll take a podium. And that at the moment is what Coombs is doing. I'm sure he's not going to actually be too offensive and be calling him a wind-up dog, actually. But there we go.
Well, I won't call him any names, but I'll just call him the Dark Horse for now, because he has been that...
that's the Tom Cairns.
Yeah, that's the safest option I'm going to go with, judging by I know what other commentators have said about drivers. The Dark Horse is probably the safest term I'll probably use. But Coombs is staying in touch with Richardson for now, hoping that another opportunity will come around. But on a course like this one, Turn 1 is the only realistic place where overtakes are going to be done at. Menno de Graaf has been passed by Jack Veazey, but this is still a sterling effort from Menno to hold on to 4th place. Now, in terms of the points, it's not necessarily the class finishes, it's the overall position. So with Menno de Graaf running in 4th place, which is rather rare for an AM driver to finish in that place, that'll be good points to make up for the torrid first couple of this evening.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's probably just made back what he lost in race 1 and 2, to be honest with you. But you see now, we haven't got long left. There's going to be about 3 laps left, I think, for these guys. It might be a 20-lap race, to be honest, as it seems to be. But we'll find out whether or not, or what Coombs has got here, whether or not he's going to be able to get over Richardson. And he does seem to get better and better as the evening goes on, James Coombs. So, yeah, I stand by what I said.
Well, it is a battle still going on. Otherwise, Richardson would have been scampering off into the distance. But I don't think you ever see in Radical SR8s where a driver in the lead scampers off into the distance. It's usually a few seconds, no more than that, in terms of the lead that the race winner would have.
Yeah, didn't McCutcheon have a 2-second lead over at Brands last week and threw it away?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no matter the stature of driver you are, you can make mistakes in these machines, and it's very easy to get it wrong with these cars, considering how precise.
Come underneath him.
Well, he cut across late, but he did leave him room.
I thought he was going to try to go underneath him there as well, but Coombs was just a little bit too far back. But Richardson's going to have his work cut out because James ain't letting him get away here. So fair play to him. See how this one goes for the final lap.
Yeah, well, there'll be one more lap to go after this one. Is Matthew Richardson going to hold on, or is James Coombs going to really snatch it and claim his first Radical SR8 Championship victory? Jack Veazey is on course for a podium to round up what's been a very, very good evening that will help him in the long run in the championship. John Hodgson, who had that collision with Stefan Millis earlier in the race, he's back up into 6th place. He's a couple of seconds off Mike Bousson, who is chasing after Men de Graaf.
He's got a run.
I think even, yeah, he's got a good run here as Coombs. Is Richardson going to hold on here? Where does he place go? It looks like he was going to go to the inside for a moment there. Coombs to the outside. If he can get a really, really good amount of traction, he might get alongside, but he's not going to do it into Wagon Bend.
No, he couldn't quite get it enough there, but he ain't giving up. He ain't giving up. Richardson's going to be put under pressure. I think Coombs is probably going to have maybe one more attempt. Can he get it?
He's got that buffer behind him if he wants to send it, but he decides to hold back.
Yeah, he's got to try and get an exit out of the carousel if he can. Maybe get a run down before paddock, but I think it's going to be Richardson's win. I think. No offense, Coombsy.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a second win of the evening for Matthew Richardson, who's fended off the competition this evening. A great start to race number 3 from where he had begun 10th on the grid. And it's race victory for Matthew Richardson at Summit Point. It's the double in America for him, ahead of James Coombs, who finishes in 2nd place in race number 3 for the 2nd week in a row, with Jack Veazey in 3rd, Men de Graaf the clear winner in the AMS, and it's Mike Bousson and John Hodgson in 5th and 6th. Taras Vosberg does collect some points from this race in P7, and it's Scott Kosterich and Steve Webb rounding out the AM podium, and it's Gareth Newton, Gray Matthews and Stefan Millis, the last of those to finish. We've lost Paul Crabb and Luke Chinison this time around.
Yeah, we did, but yeah, that's racing. And Luke did do it rather spectacularly. Well, if you're gonna send yourself out of the race, you might as well hit the grass, spin backwards, and knock everything out of the rear end of your car. So fair play, Luke.
And it is Matthew Richardson who wins again. And it's James Coombs who finishes in 2nd place. Jack Veazey 3rd. Men de Graaf in 4th, the winner in the AMS. And it's Mike Bousson, John Hodgson, Taras Vosberg, Scott Kosterich and Steve Webb running up the AM podium. Then we've got Gareth Newton, Graham Matthews, Stefan Millis. And we've got lost Paul Crabb and Luke Chinison.
Great racing. Great racing.
Great racing. That was phenomenal. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was good. And that's the thing with Summit Point. It gives you that kind of racing that you're going to see it. You know, let's have a look at the schedule for next week. We're off to Red Bull Ring for the endurance race. So that's going to be an interesting one as well. So, you know, let's see how they're going to get on at the endurance race. You're going to join us next week on that one. Man United are winning 1-0 apparently with 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, I saw the goal as well. It was a good finish.
Oh, well, there you go. Glad you were watching the racing, Tom.
What are you saying, JP?
I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. Anyway, we've got Steve Webb in YouTube chat. Let's have a look. Have a chat with Webby. Winner in the AMS in race number 2. Podium in 3. Podium in 1. So there you go. Only one, or well, actually, I think he was the only driver to get a podium in all 3 races. Steve Webb, you bad man, you.
Oh, I'll give myself a trophy for that one then.
Yeah, you go for it, mate. Anyway,
could you just do me a favour though? Could you look at the start of race 2?
no, I can't go back that far because the replay.
Oh, you can't go back that far. Okay, because the start went and a car in front never moved. I had to hit the brakes, and then don't know who the hell hit me from behind, but I think he just wrecked his race. But I just can't remember who it was now. But a bit of a shame on that one. But still managed to come through. But I just felt a bit sorry for the other driver that lost his front end. But not a bad night all in all, is it?
No, dude, 3 podiums. That gives you some nice lot of points in the AM Championships. Steve, you reckon you're going to win the AM Championships this year or not?
It's difficult to say. You know, okay, I've had some decent results, but I've had some absolutely terrible ones as well. Where are we next?
Red Bull Ring, endurance round.
Ooh, 60 minutes, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be good. Right, I better get plenty of coffee and plenty of fizzy sweets by hand then.
Hey, mate, you want to be careful at your age, mate. You're going to need some Tenormen by the end of the 55 minutes, I tell you.
Mate, I need that after the first 6 minutes of the race. What are you talking about? No, but all in all, it's been really good these past couple of weeks. I don't know what happened with Mike. If Mike tried to go up me inside on the corner 1, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a kind of a Paul LeMay Brands Hatch incident, to be honest with you, Steve.
Not again.
We'll look at it completely different to you. Mike was alongside. It looked like you came over, but then I don't know. I'm staying out of it, Steve, because last time I'm not getting involved.
No, but my apologies to Mike. But if you did look, I'll let Mike go through anyway. At one point, because in one race, because I just felt a little bit, if it was my fault, and I thought, well, I'll just give him the place back and he can make his way forward. So, but yeah, good weekend all round. Really good. Really enjoying this. It's good fun.
Absolutely.
Just urge more people to get involved with this. It's brilliant.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get some more joining. Anyway, bud, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll give Matthew a shout out for his race victories and podiums and whatever he's had tonight. It was difficult to keep track of while you're driving. You two guys yet again for your commentaries. As always, bloody good job. Thank you, everybody, and all the drivers as well. And I'm going to go and drink out of a solid gold cup now.
All right, mate, you go enjoy yourself.
Cheers, guys. Thank
Take
you
care,
so
mate.
much.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
That's going to be a very hard one to decipher. Anyway, Tom, I'm going to shut up on the next interview. Who do you want next?
Oh, good question. Oh, I'll save Matthew Richardson until the end. Let's bring in Jack Veazey because he's sitting there waiting.
Yeah, I got first, second. Oh.
And I think you may have been talking to
sorry, Jack. What did you get?
competitors.
Tell us what you got again, Jack. We missed it. What did you
First,
get,
second,
son?
third.
You did, son. You got a full house of medals. Check you out.
Yeah.
Just as the Winter Olympics had just finished, you were counting your own medals, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. Collected them all.
Anyway, that was a fun event, though. Summit Point, the first time the Radical SR8 Championship competes in here. How have you found it from your perspective?
Yeah, it was interesting. Pretty easy track compared to some of the others we've had so far. The only place you can really make a mistake is running wide onto the gravel on those 2 corners with gravel traps. But yeah, it was fun racing. You know, I had some battles, so yeah, it was a good addition. I liked it.
Yep. Victory in race 1, second in race 2, and third in race 3. So I suppose that makes it easier in a way with all the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s. But that has helped you in the championship standings. But we've got Red Bull Ring next. It's an endurance event with a mandatory pit stop involved. How are you feeling for that one? Because it's going to be different.
Yeah, we'll see. This will be my third endurance now. First one's at Le Mans. That was quite a boring race, and then Nürburgring was better. And yeah, Red Bull Ring could be all right. Never raced these cars around there before, so yeah, not sure what to expect really.
Anyone on the shout to Jack before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Menno today. He was just really quick in the practice, the quali. So yeah, he surprised me today. So I'll give a different shout out today, and it goes to Menno.
Wonderful. Jack, you picked up another win. Very well done. And we'll see you next week at Red Bull Ring.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Wonderful to hear from Jack, counting up his medals, as he often does when it comes to racing in the Radical SR8 Championship. Obviously, it's lovely to see that anyway. Go on, let's have a word with the double winner himself, Matthew Richardson, winner in races 2 and 3. You must be absolutely chuffed with that. And it looks like you got your starts right this time.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised about that because I got 3 good starts. So yeah, good start in every race. First race I actually got boxed in, which was a surprise. But yeah, 2 wins and a 4th place. I'm pleasantly surprised about that.
Yeah, I'm very happy for you, actually. And I don't know if any family members of yours have been watching, as they often have been, whilst you've been racing in this series. Do you know anyone that's been watching to support you?
I think my grandparents have been watching.
Are you grandparents this time?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
and I think my mum and dad and my brother and sister. So
God,
the whole family's watching.
Blimey. We got, hello, everybody. Look, Mum, you've done your boys on TV. Woo! Sorry, mate. I'll shut up.
No, I'm all for it, but JP, don't worry about that. But we've got Red Bull Ring next. Surely it must be your kind of circuit, considering the layout of it and the flow.
Yeah, I think I'm usually pretty good at that circuit, so we'll have to see how it goes in the SR8s. But hopefully that one goes as well as this race or these races, because yeah, good races tonight.
I know you've mentioned your family members, but is there anyone you want to shout out to, maybe fellow competitors that have done well tonight? Because Bernard de Graaf, which Jack Veazey mentioned, he had a good evening in that last race, despite the setbacks he had in races 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'll shout out everyone who I raced against. I want to apologise quickly to Paul because I think I tagged him the first race, first lap. And yeah, I'll give a shout out to Steve because I think he got two wins in the AMS, or was it 1 win and 2 second places?
He got the same as you, mate. Did
he?
Yeah. Well, actually, got the same as Jack Veazey. He got 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, third in race 2, third in race 3, win in race 2, and second in race 1.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to him because good races for Orange Army Racing tonight. So yeah, pretty happy.
I'm sure all those that have been watching you will be very happy with you indeed. Matthew, thank you so much for speaking to us. Better evening compared to the previous rounds, and we'll hope to see more of it at the Red Bull Ring in 7 days' time.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, mate.
Bye.
Oh, bless.
Well,
all the Richardson family are on the look. Hi, Mum. Hi. How are you? Hope you're well. Oh. Bless him. Anyway.
I mean, yeah, it's been that evening though, and we've seen some entertaining action all the way through, and some unexpected results. I mean, John Hutchinson did pick up a few. Well, he did pick up a good result, I think, in race 1, but I think race 3 was the real kick in the teeth. Let's just say that it wasn't his best evening.
No, but then again, he got caught up, didn't he? That was the problem. If he hadn't got caught up in incidents, it wouldn't have mattered. But, one of them things, and that's racing. Rubbing is racing, and unfortunately, they just rubbed a little bit too hard and went off together. So I'm sure Stefan Mellis would be just as upset as John. So there we go. But John's actually apologised there. Sorry, Stefan. Cold tyres slid me wider than I hoped for. I held it tight enough, and he hit him. So there we go.
Well, that clears things up there, and we'll wrap it up. Thank you to everyone that's been tuning in. Do make sure you like and subscribe in case you haven't already done so, and you won't miss a thing. And thank you to all the drivers that have put on a brilliant 3 races around Summit Point. And I will say, I think it'll be back again in future seasons. Well, Matthew Richardson, kickstarted his campaign finally with 2 victories in those last 2 races, and he'll hope to continue that form next week. Jack Feasey won the very first race. He'll be hoping to achieve the same feat. Will he do so? Well, you know where to tune in 7 days' time. I am Tom Cairns with James Parfitt, and we'll speak to you again soon when the Radical SR8 Championship returns, and it's good night.